Hello friends, I hope that you've been well. We have a very different video today because, I am trying to mix up my channel a little bit. Obviously, it's always going to be art related, so don't worry. So for those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Tina. I go by imawonder on the internet. And I am a full-time artist living in Toronto. And today we're actually going to hang out in Toronto. I am going to take you guys on a little day trip. We are gonna go head over to the Art Gallery of Ontario. I'm gonna bring my sketchbook with me, and then I'm thinking I wanna hit up maybe an art supply store. But before we head on out, I thought that it might be fun for us to go through a couple outfit options before we leave, which brings us to today's sponsor, Love Bonito. So this is the first item that I got, and it's this midi length black pleated wrap skirt. I love that Love Bonito is all about making functional pockets. So you can see my phone actually fits in the entire pocket. It's not popping out. Another element that I really love is that because it's got a wrap and the way that the buttons are, it actually has two buttons on each side here so you can adjust the waist. So you got the buttons that you put on when you first leave the house, and then after you have a gigantic dinner, you can adjust it to be a little bit looser, which is amazing. And definitely something that really comes into play with Love Bonito's mission of catering to women who are of a more petite stature. So if you're like me and you're on the shorter side, I'm 5'3" by the way, I love that I can actually have a midi length skirt that is actually midi. Because with other brands, oftentimes when I buy a midi skirt, it ends up being basically a maxi skirt or like hitting close to the ankles because of me being a shorter than average person. And so I really love that they really keep that in mind in their design choices with their pieces. And the next outfit I have here, I have this satiny blouse. I really love the lacing detail on the sleeves. They're all about having staples that will be very versatile. And something that I think is extremely versatile, which I was so excited about, is this skirt. Yes, it is a skirt. So it looks like a skirt from the front, but it actually has built-in shorts underneath, which is amazing. And I would say that this skirt definitely comes off as more of a summer or spring vibe because of the scalloped hem at the bottom and the little eyelets. But I definitely think that, especially the black version of this, it's, again, really flexible in terms of just the way you want to style it. So as you can see, I've got the long sleeve blouse and the tights on to make it more appropriate for fall and winter. And again, amazing feature of the fully functional pockets. And then to just give this outfit that finishing touch, I also have this oversized lavendery pink blazer, and I love the material. It's got this like wafer texture, and it's a nice sturdy material, so it feels very appropriate for fall and winter. I think that it adds a little bit of warmth as well, and again makes this outfit feel more wintry. And when I showed my friend all of the pieces that I got, she really loved this blazer. She complimented me on it, and she said that the skirt was definitely up her alley. So if you also want to upgrade your closet with clothes made to fit you today with Love Bonito, go to the link in my description and use promo code LBXI'mAWonder for 10% off your order of $130 or more. And so with our outfit picked, let's go to the art gallery.
Sadly, it was pretty miserable this day in terms of weather. It was quite gloomy and raining, but the benefit of that was that the gallery itself was even more quiet than usual, even though I knew going into it, because it was the middle of the day on a Thursday, it would be pretty quiet. But I think the weather really deterred a lot of people from coming, which definitely benefited me because I was already a little bit self-conscious about filming. So it definitely made it a lot easier that there wasn't a lot of people around. I have an annual pass to the AGO, so there are a number of collections that I've seen already a number of times, but Since I live in Toronto, I definitely think it's worth having, especially since they do have new collections that come every few months. Plus, I do think there is something just really special about seeing artwork and installations in person versus seeing photographs or images online. Like seeing the texture of the paint, or looking at a sculpture from every angle, or really just the sheer scale of some of the pieces. You really just can't capture it in a photograph, and it's just a much different experience when you're there in front of it or you're immersed in an entire installation. So, like I mentioned earlier, I did also do some sketching while I was there, and I'm typically the type of artist who only makes artwork in my studio at my desk. I've found it to feel really foreign to sketch or make art in places outside of that context, and I've always envied people who would have travel journals filled with sketches, or people who would just draw on the go frequently. But the only way for me to break out of this self-imposed confine is to just push myself to try sketching out in public, which definitely did pose some challenges. The first one that I did of the figure sculpture, there was no seating near it, so I had to stand and sketch. Thankfully, this sketchbook has like a pretty sturdy cover. And then the one that I'm working on here in the video now, I thankfully did have a seat, like there was seating in front of this painting, but the other challenge of this was trying to film it because there's a limitation to the little tripod that I brought. It's not very big, and so I had to like crouch near it, and I was very aware of trying to be aware of how my sketch looked in the frame of like actually filming it. And yeah, when you're drawing in public, and especially when it comes to a gallery, you're limited in what you can carry and what type of equipment you can have and what art supplies you bring. And in terms of art supplies, I do think that is a good type of challenge to have, because it just forces you to make do with what you have, and it kind of pulls you out of your comfort zone in terms of the type of work that you make. And so even though these sketching experiences at the gallery weren't very comfortable for me, I'm still glad that I did them, because now I have this newfound sketching combination that I really like, that I might have not tried before otherwise, because I have so many different supplies at my disposal when I'm at my studio. And so this combination of materials, I've used these highlighters for undersketching quite a lot lately, but typically I would use a ballpoint pen on top, which gives me a very detailed look still. Whereas this time around, I decided to bring these thicker pens. I think they're the sign pens. I'll put up all the supplies that I have in the description. But yeah, I think that this kind of forced me to be a little bit more simplified and more stylized. And I also ended up just sticking to these 3 shades of blue, which I think looks really, really appealing and really suited the Group of 7 painting that I was referencing from, which, by the way, I completely forgot to film the actual, take footage of the actual painting that I was referencing for this sketching session. So I'll put it up on the screen for you to see. But yeah, I always really loved these particular paintings from the Group of 7 because there is just something so visually appealing about the way that the forms are stylized. And after the AGO, I popped over to this art supply store called Above Ground, which is really close by to the gallery. And there is something typically so magical about Above Ground because it is just filled to the brim, ceiling to floor with art supplies. But I will say, I did find that this day I felt really claustrophobic in there. I think maybe because of the weather, we were all like encumbered with, our coats and umbrellas and bags and stuff. So it just felt extra cramped. Whereas I think that in previous times when I visited, it's a little bit more relaxed feeling because I'm not encumbered by all these things. But anyway, I did pick up a few pencil crayons, my favorite Prismacolor color pencils. And then these are the supplies that I had brought with me to the gallery. So I tried to keep it pretty limited: highlighters, a couple of pens, and this tiny sketchbook. And here I'm just showing off the sketches that I did while I was at the gallery. And yeah, I just really like this blue monochromatic vibe. And I went ahead and did a little color test of the color pencils that I bought, and clearly I was inspired by my blue sketches that day because I ended up picking pretty much up only cool toned color pencils. And before we go, I just wanted to show off these two new paintings that I did for my Patreon page. This first one here is going to be the postcard print that I send out. And then this second illustration here is going to be the sticker. And the sticker, the little gold cracks here are going to have a gold mirror effect, which I think will look really, really cool. So you have until January 31st to sign up for the sticker and or print reward tier if you're interested. And I, of course, have lots of extra videos, podcasts, and more content over there as well.
Anyways, that is it from me today. I hope that you enjoyed coming along on this little art day with me. And in theme of having gone to an art gallery today, let me know in the comments which artist you would love to see in a gallery. It can be an old master, it can be a contemporary artist, whatever artist that you're feeling right now. Who would you want to see a full gallery exhibition from? So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, that's everything from me. Thank you so much for watching and for all of your support. It really means the world to me. And I hope that you have an amazing day or evening wherever you're at. Bye.